Fantastic. Thank you very much. How was the weekend? Did you have a nice weekend?
Yeah, yeah, it was good. Yesterday we went to the Parque Guanajuato Bicentenario because yesterday was the last day of the. It's called Brilla Fest, and it's like a Christmas festival there in the park. It was nice. It was good. And
That
yours
is
is good.
the Bicentenario is mine was also very good. Thank you very much. I had some friends here visiting the school, and it was chatting and gossiping a little bit. As you
That's
will
great.
imagine, yeah, I was kind of relaxed, and yeah, it was really good. Thank you, Mickey. The Bicentenario is the one on the way to Guanajuato, right? The Parque Bicentenario
Yeah, I think that it's in Silao. I think so. Yeah.
in Silao. Yeah, that's true. That's
hmm
true. A few kilometers, and it's a nice place, right?
Yeah. Well, I really like the festival, but the rest of the park, I think that needs a little bit of how can I say it, like maintenance in a way.
Maintenance.
Yeah,
Okay, could
because
be.
I saw the same the same expositions since the last time that I went, and the last time that I went was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and the park has a lot of empty places. So
Uh, uh,
I think that it's a place that probably it's a little bit um well, they are not taking advantage to the older place. I think so.
that's a pity because it's a very nice place. It's large. It's very extensive, and
Yeah.
yeah, they certainly can take better care of it. Well, hopefully they can improve it because they just need a plan and allocate the budget. If they
hmm
allocate the budget, I'm sure they're gonna do it.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, me too. I was reading a little bit about the most important subjects that the career of international business has, and I don't know if you would agree with this, but in the career of trade or international business, which is not the same, of course, we have the class, of course, the international business. What is the um, topics that international business should cover, Mickey, in your opinion? This class should cover what? What in your mind, in your opinion?
Um, well, first, I think that it is necessary to start from the beginning. So probably with the meanings of different words, probably what is an exportation, an importation,
Right. Okay.
exports, imports.
Right. Of course. That's critical. That's crucial.
hmm
I think there was something like tariffs.
Yeah,
Tariffs. Then there
probably
was. Yeah.
the different agreements between countries could be.
Agreements. Yeah. International agreements. That's important. Agreements between countries. That's very important. Yeah, that's true. And those obviously are international business agreements, right? Trade agreements.
hmm
Trade agreements, right? All right. That is very, very important. Thank you, Mickey. Another class that I noticed that is in most of the curricula is international trade. What is the difference between international trade and international business? When you're going to make transactions, for example, trade, do you think they focus on the policies, trade barriers? Like sometimes there are trade barriers, right? You cannot sell these to the US because we produce it over there. Or
hmm
what else is important in international trade, Mickey, that you think?
Probably the different. Um, well, the income terms probably could be.
Absolutely, yeah, the Incoterms, the commercial international terms and conditions of sale, right?
hmm
Um, yeah, this is very critical because it's not the same to pay to bid delivery duty unpaid than delivery duty paid than free on board. That there are lots of terms, right?
Yeah.
And that is because you cannot only sell excuse me,
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thanks. You
Gracias.
can not only thank you, through air freight, you also use ship freight, right? So if you're going to use the ship freight, is very different. The risk and the terms from the air freight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very different. Or if you send, for example, to the US through ground freight, it's also different. True?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, those are very important uh, topics. There's another class that I'm sure that you taught or you will learn eventually, which is economics. How do you like economics or international economics, Mickey? How do you like this class?
Mm, yeah, I liked. Probably I like a lot about this class in and in general economics. I remember that in this class we talked different how you say exchange types.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, we talked too about mm, 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 what else? I don't remember.
Well, we talked about exchange rates, right? Exchange
Hmm.
rates, because if you lend money to another country or if you receive a loan from another country, let's say that you lend money, you place a loan to Guatemala, right? Or Costa Rica or Belize or whoever. You lend the money in dollars or in pesos or in what currency, right?
Hmm.
In which currency you do the loan? Well, that depends, right, on the agreement, on the conditions. So the payment should be in the same currency, right?
Yeah.
What happens when there is a disparity, a devaluation or an overvaluation of the currency? Let's say that you loan them $1,000. Of course, it's not a lot for a loan, but let's use this as an example, right?
Hmm.
$1,000. And the parity is, let's say, what is the currency of Guatemala? I don't remember.
Mm, Quetzal.
Quetzal, yeah, the Quetzal. So let's say I don't know what the currency is, but let's say that in that year that you loaned them the money, there was a 10 quetzales, 10 quetzal for $1 per
Hmm.
US dollar, right? And wow, what is this? Okay, here for per dollar. And now after 5 years, the quetzal got a new devaluation, and now it went to 40 quetzals is the same as USD.
Hmm.
So what does that mean for you, Mickey?
Yeah, then now the value of the quetzal decrease, and um instead of being 10 quetzals for $1, now 40 quetzals equals $1.
Right. In the internal balance of payments, what does that mean? That if they owed you $1,000, that was 10,000 quetzales, right?
10,000. Hmm.
That was the internal debt. Internal debt. But after 5 years, when there was a devaluation, what is now the internal debt for them? Even if the debt is the same, the USD is still they owe you $1,000 today. After the devaluation, the internal debt is $1,000 is now how many quetzales?
40,000.
40,000. In other words, the country owed you 10,000 quetzales and now they owe you 40,000 quetzales. So the
Hmm.
burden on the population is much higher,
Hmm.
right? So if you convert these to oranges, in 5 years ago, which was 2019, they owed you, let's say that one orange per quetzal, right?
Mm-hmm.
1,000, 10,000 oranges, 10,000 oranges. They needed to produce to pay you. They said, well, we just need to produce 1,000, 10,000 oranges, and we pay Mickey. But now, 2024, now they need to produce four times more. They need to produce 40,000 oranges to
Yeah,
pay you. What do you think of this?
yeah. That's the issue that in economics, the value of the more well, I know that there are more, there are some, you can say some currencies that has like more, how can I say, fluctuations, like
Stability
more,
or fluctuation? Yeah, fluctuation. Yeah, fluctuation or stability.
and yeah, and others has more stability. I think that that's the reason why at the moment that you do a loan or somebody lends money, there must be an agreement, and I think that the best way to do it is choosing a currency that probably more or less is established. Because if the currency that you choose is uh, not established, well, those can occur like this case.
I think you're very, very right. Should not fluctuate. Should not fluctuate. Yeah, should be stable, right?
Yeah.
Well, but how can you predict or foresee or forecast the stability of the currency? It's a difficult question. How can we forecast or foresee, prever the stability of certain currency? How can we forecast or foresee the stability of certain currency?
Mm, well, of course, something very difficult to foresee, but um, I think that there are certain things that more or less can give us an idea of our forecast. Probably one thing could be the different, how can I say it? The different job opportunities in a country. If
Okay.
if there's infrastructure too, if the government is investing in the infrastructure and in attract inversion.
Okay. Investment attraction. That's very important. Yeah, exactly. What else, Mickey? Yeah, this is very true. Job opportunities, more
Pro-
infrastructure.
Probably when they do agreements with other countries to um, to have in general more businesses or has more international trade.
Okay. Perfect. Yes. That's
Mm,
very true.
and when I don't know what was uh, the translation of PIB
Of
in English. I don't remember.
oh, gross domestic product.
Gross domestic product. Yeah,
Domestic gross
if
domestic
more or
product
less is stable or is increasing, probably.
or increasing. Yeah, that's true. That's all very, very important. All these pointers that you are mentioning are incredibly important. And of course, how do you very quickly? I mean, I don't want us to develop the government plan for free, right? Because
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they're going to look at your videos and our videos and they're, oh, let's implement what Mickey suggests. And where is my royalty, right?
Yeah.
So. briefly, how do you develop any of these, each of these, please, generally speaking? How do you create more job opportunities? How do you develop more infrastructure? Because that is an expense for the government, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
need to be able to allocate the resources efficiently. Allocate the resources efficiently and intelligently, of course.
Yeah.
So let's start with job opportunities. How do you create more job opportunities? We're talking from the government function, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
promote, as a government, you promote the creation of more jobs in the industry, but that's not your call. That's the call of the businessman. So you give them an incentive or a deterrent, right? Of course, you want to give an incentive to create more jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you give incentives to companies, or you yourself hire more people, right? How do you do this, Mickey? How do you create more job opportunities?
Well, I think that one way could be um attracting businesses from other countries. Probably you can give them different like incentives to do their businesses here in the country, and in that way, well, obviously that will create more job opportunities. Could be one.
Perfect, excellent. Yes. Another way to do it, Mickey.
Mm, another way to do it. Well, I think that mm, here in Mexico, the small and medium enterprises are the most quantity of all the enterprises that we have. So probably gives them certain like support to those enterprises.
When you
Uh,
say support, you mean tax cuts, maybe?
yeah, could be one.
Tax cuts. Okay, that's great. Very good. What else could you give them? Maybe
Probably you can. Uh, Probably it's not like something uh, connect in a direct way, but when you gives them the how can I say it, like the when you prepare the people that works in those enterprises, like gives
training.
capacity
Training. Yes,
training. Yeah.
that's excellent. Actually, since excellent is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I had a friend that lives in Guadalajara, and he
Mm-hmm.
said to me that they were attracting many Indian companies from India that were
Mm-hmm.
developing software, and
Mm-hmm.
that software was being used in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So they wanted to establish the companies in Mexico, which is next to the US, to develop software, specialized software and programming and this and that. Because of the time difference with the US, they wanted to give them 24-hour service. So,
Mm-hmm.
but they were worried that many students that came out from university or from college were not skillful or were not prepared enough. They had a mediocre or regular education. So that was a concern that they had. So they said, well, we're going to send our people to train the Mexican just graduates, recent graduates,
Mm-hmm.
to become better at programming and this and that. And I thought, wow, that is fantastic. They're not only going to give them jobs, but they're going to train them to do the job properly.
Yeah, I think that's something necessary because uh, apart of that, there are a lot of people who every year graduates from the school,
Yes,
and I think that the majority doesn't have like an experience. So when you receive a training about a specific thing, probably it will be easier to be hired. I think so. Like it is necessary to have this type of training or yeah, like the experience of working in a company.
very good, excellent, nice ideas, job opportunities. Let's see, how does the government create more infrastructure so that they manage or allocate the resources efficiently and effectively.
Mm, I think that is inside to analyze the city or the state or the country in general, and define what are the needs from every city or every state, and then well, it is necessary to have a plan, and I think that there are different ways to create infrastructure. One of them obviously is like an alliance with private companies.
Okay.
Hmm. With that, you can invest in hospitals or in um, yeah,
Highways, maybe.
yeah, highways, of course. Mm, like how can I say, like fun places or
Oh, yeah, amusement parks.
amusement, yeah, amusement parks. Mm, probably that there were Wi-Fi zones. I think that those are important now.
Yes. I recently heard, Mickey, that CFE is planning to create a universal points in the country for free.
Hmm. Yeah,
Have you heard of that?
yeah. I heard in well, I saw it in on internet that CF CFE wants to create like um well, yeah, like a point where everyone could connect to the internet for free,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And I think that they're gonna create well, they're gonna give like modems. Obviously you're gonna pay, but I think that the quantity of money that you pay is completely low at the comparison of the countries who sell that.
Wow, that's a great idea, I believe. And that way, yeah, you buy the modem from them, and they give you access, universal internet access points in the whole country. I believe that is part of the infrastructure, which is incredibly good because that's going to help all the people in the country, not only the ones who can pay for a connection.
Yeah, I think that is necessary.
It's fabulous. Yes, that's very good. All right, another way to create infrastructure. Um, well, you make an alliance with private companies. What is another way to do it?
Mm, well, obviously, managing correctly the budget that, for example, we have like a state or like city.
Okay, state budget
Hmm.
and city budget, right?
Yeah,
Or you call it municipality budget. Municipality budget. Because in theory, the rural areas also contribute with the money. Not too much, I think. Well, I don't know, but I think they also contribute. So we call municipality to the whole city, not to the whole city, to the whole municipality, including the urban and suburban areas. So managing the budget correctly.
yeah.
Very good. Do you believe, Mickey, that a way to allocate the resources is establishing a percentage of the tax income?
Hmm. Yeah, of course.
Percentage of the actual income tax. When you receive certain amount of money and you pay your taxes, that goes to the city or to the state or to the nation, to the federation. And then the country can say, well, we're going to invest 10% of the money that we collect from taxes, or 20% is going to go to the public works, highways, universities, hospitals, airports, train stations, etc., etc. So you can establish a percentage, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that
Okay,
is necessary.
okay, very good, Mickey. Thank you. That's great. Let's see how we invest, how we attract investment. How do you establish liaisons, contacts? How do you make connections in different countries? Do you send scouts, economic experts, or international business experts to other countries and make connections and alliances? Or how do you do this?
Yeah, of course. I think that it's necessary to try to have a good relationship with the majority countries possible. Because with that you can have like treatments, and in a way could be easier from, I don't know. In this case, we have it's still called the MEC, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, and obviously a country, sorry, an enterprise from those countries will be easier to start here in Mexico too, or vice versa. I think so. There are different there are different aspects that in a way benefits the companies from our country and the other two countries.
Like which ones, Mickey? I'm sure you're right. You're right, but which ones, as an example?
Well, I think that they give like they pay less taxes.
Okay, right. That's one.
Mm, I think that the other one could be like if you want to import or export something from those countries. I think that I don't remember exactly the amount, but you don't need to overpass from that amount because then you're gonna pay um, the taxes or the logistics that you use to import or export. But I think that I don't remember if it was $1,000. I'm talking like in a like someone like me, that wants to import or export something, not countries, but I think that if you import or if you import something less than $1,000, you don't pay taxes.
Okay, that's great. Let's say that is $1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's duty free for imports under certain amounts, like one
Yeah,
thousand
duty
dollars.
free.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's fabulous. All right. Now, let's say that you become the ambassador of Mexico in a difficult country. Yeah, we can say, yeah, Mickey's going to go to the US or Canada or Germany. Well, those are very well, not the US, but easy to negotiate with, I think, countries. But let's say that they tell you, Mickey, we're going to send you to a special and difficult mission to Turkey or to the Ukraine or I don't know, a strange country. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not worrisome, not a country that is in war or something, but it's a country that is not much information about. For example, Uzbekistan or I don't know, or maybe it could be a nation like Uruguay that is not in our minds constantly every day, but which is very progressive and very
Yeah.
nice, incredible, incredible country. How would you prepare for that to make agreements with those countries? They tell you, Mickey, it's an important mission. You need to get important agreements with people from, let's say, Uruguay and Turkey, totally different and totally opposite countries. How do you prepare yourself to negotiate and make agreements with those countries?
Mm, First, I think that it's necessary um, to know how are their culture. I think that it's important to know um, more or less what are their opinions about certain things and about their manners too, the way of how you're gonna meet someone for the first time. Um, because yeah, I know that there are certain things that, for example, here in Mexico, with countries from Asia, from Africa, or countries uh, in South America are completely different. So try to adapt ourselves to their culture.
Okay. Adapt and
Uh,
understand their culture.
yeah.
All right. How would it be like in Turkey, which is at least for me, it's a strange country, a country I don't know much about, but which people say they have great cuisine, great food, some strange traditions. or
Hmm.
unusual traditions or unknown traditions. Unknown, unknown traditions. And for me, at least, I don't know much about the Turkish culture. How do
Yeah,
you
no, me
perf-
neither.
Yeah,
But
okay.
the since 2 or 3 months ago, I installed an app. It's called uh, Hello Talk, something like that. I don't remember
Yeah,
exactly the
Hello
name.
Talk. Yeah, Hello Talk, where you can contact a person from England, from Germany, from Italy, etc., and then you practice
Yeah,
that language. That's fabulous. Yeah, that's a great app.
yeah, that's a good one. And I was chatting with a girl from Turkey, and I
Okay.
remember that I asked to know how was their daily routine, and the first thing that they do is it's pray. She told me that she normally wakes up at 6:30, and the first thing that she does is if they have the possibility goes to um, to their church and they pray like I think that it's 1 hour or 1 hour 1 hour and a half. I think depending of the day too.
Oh,
But
really?
for example, I think that it is important to know those things because you're not gonna make a meeting uh, uh, without respect their daily routines or the things that normally they does. I think that there are certain things that um, at the moment that we're visiting a country, we need to know.
Okay, that's really nice. What do they do next after going to church?
Well, she told me their routine. She told me that she is teaching English to people there, and and I don't know. Probably I had um, like a complete idea of how was those countries because a lot of people from India. What was the other? Turkey. There's one. Morocco. You know what happened
Morocco.
in yeah. Probably had like the idea like there are a lot of war or or there are um, they have like deficient aspects, but well, when I talk with them, they seems to they seems to be happy from of living there. I don't know, probably they are get used to it,
Okay.
the but it impacts me in a positive way because it's like yeah, I normally see the things that are in news, but in reality I don't know what's really happening there, and when someone from that lives there uh, shows you or tells you their reality, it's something important and curious for me, at least for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously they tell me that obviously they have issues like all the countries, but that they think that news in general just talk bad things from those countries.
Right. They try to discredit the countries
Yeah.
and they exaggerate the news. They exaggerate
Hmm.
the note. When I went to Cuba in 2019
Hmm.
to play a chess tournament, I went to Cuba and people asked me openly, but with trying to be tactful. They say,
Hmm.
"Hey, can people go out in Mexico?" They say, "What?" Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Is it possible that you go out to the streets in Mexico? I said, well, how do you think we go to work? Yeah, but there are these shootings, massive shootings, or killing people. I say, no, that's an exaggeration. Of course we can. Otherwise, the country would be totally stopped, would be
Hmm.
under stall, and we would sink like a boat or a person swimming, right? Oh,
Yeah,
because we
exactly.
hear all this noise, this news.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I think that it's an issue because, uh, for example, I have one uncle that works in Nueva Vallarta,
okay,
and normally their good season is it's like finals of November until finals of February, more or less, because
okay,
it's the moment that um, more people from other countries, generally um, United States and Canada, comes from their countries to here to Mexico, and he tells me that the season was completely bad because there wasn't people from other countries coming to Nueva Vallarta. The quantity of
Mm.
people who came in comparison with other years was extremely low. And then he asked to some to some families that, yeah, that he came from, I think that were from Canada, and they told us that uh, a lot of people has like fear now to come again to Mexico, and in the same way in where is Playa del Carmen in,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think that is for the same because obviously in news I think that just appear the bad things, and obviously that affects to our country in many aspects.
And that is unfortunate. Very true. That is very true, but very unfortunate because then, if I am a citizen of the US, and the newspapers, of course, will prefer that a person as a citizen of the US goes to Disneyland that goes to Cancun, right? So that they spend the
Hmm.
money in the US and not in Mexico.
Exactly.
And if I have a news channel and I am from England, I would prefer that you go to England than you go to Mexico. So I would say, no, in Mexico is crime is rampant, insecurity is extreme. They will kidnap, in particular, American and Canadian tourists.
Hmm.
So come to England. They don't tell you go to Mexico because you're going to spend one third of the money. They tell you Mexico is very dangerous and they will kidnap you and you will lose your fortune and this and that is bad for the economy. So um, might be slightly true, but they exaggerate the note to profit from that. So
Yeah,
even
of
if
course.
we don't want it, this propaganda, bad propaganda, affects the economy. What do you think about that, Mickey?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, as you mentioned, probably it's true, but obviously they exaggerate in a certain way, and and obviously I think that, for example, in this case, Mexico must invest in trying to attract that people and to protect. Well, we know that the city with more tourism are more are more protected, but probably invest a little bit more of security in those areas. Obviously, there must be security in all the parts, but
Yeah.
focusing in tourism, I think that is necessary to make the tourists feel that it's secure. You know.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I would say that the government, let's say that there are two theories. One, the government is not colluded with crime, which I doubt it. But let's say that they are not colluded, right?
Let's suppose.
Government is not colluded. Well, then they should finish the government is not colluded. So they should finish this crime as soon as possible because that is affecting the economy. And let's say that they are colluded. The government is colluded. Government is colluded. Well, they should establish limits, right? They
Yeah.
should establish boundaries. Establish boundaries. You know what? Don't or boundaries or alliances with the news. Establish boundaries with the broadcasting companies.
Hmm.
Yeah, it sounds bad that hey, don't mention all the crime or don't exaggerate it or don't put it in first page, in the front page, or because that is affecting tourism, as you correctly pointed out, right?
Yeah, of course, it's something that probably, yeah, it's bad, but I think that in a way the government and the country requires to attract more people, more tourism. For example, the last year I went to Guadalajara, and I went to it was like how do you say, like a pub, uh, you know, uh, and it was a lot of foreign people, and it impacts me. But something that gets me like not a good impression is that when I went to the bathroom, there were people offering drugs like if there were candies, and it wasn't like how can I say, like a big mm,
Place.
place. No, it was a place that was in the near from Andares, in that zone in Zapopan,
Okay.
and
Right.
it impacts me that people seems like normal, but I think that is for the same because it's colluded and probably the the agreement is like, yeah, you can sell, but then you can touch that people. You just sell what you want to sell, and that's all. But I think that until in that there must be limits too.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And also, there may be situations in which the government is colluded with crime, with gangsters, and it gets out of control, right? Because then you tell them, well, yeah, but don't touch these people, don't get in that area, don't do this, don't do that, and they then the gangsters say, well, why not? I am strong enough, I have the power enough to do as I please, and they disobey. So they it can get out of control as well, or disobedience, right? Or disagreements like in
Yeah.
any kind of alliance. So it's extremely ugly. It's bad enough that the government is colluded. That's bad enough because they shouldn't, right? And in addition to that, um, they don't have any control, any order, any organization. Is so it's really, really, really bad. So that's why the economy is affected, as you mentioned in Nuevo Vallarta with the uncle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a mess, but it's something that, yeah, I mean, the government and not only the government. I think that Mexico has a lot of violence because we don't have a good education and families don't really educate their kids. I think that in occasions we just say that the fault is from the government, but I think that the fault is from from all people, not only the government.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Um, at the
Please.
end, who is in charge is responsible, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
The families, well, the parents are in charge, right? The parents are in charge. In the schools, the school directors are in charge. In the government, well, the government officials are in charge. So everyone that has a position of authority is in charge of the people he or she commands. So they are responsible for guiding and establishing good ethics, good morals, good principles, and good working practices. So the authorities that run the country, the families, the churches, the churches, the churches, the the businesses are in charge. So they are responsible.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
Yeah, of course. I think that it's necessary to really pay attention in general, in since your family, in the school, with the friends of for example, if you have a son, who are the friends, who are the people that normally is chatting with them, and I think that there must be uh, well, families and people in general must focus in that and not only blame the government because, yeah, obviously the government has their failures too. I'm not saying that it's perfect because it isn't, but I think that it is important to do those changes since the house. I think so.
Absolutely, absolutely. And well, we're talking about economy, which is the central topic, but this is affecting the economy directly. All these topics that we're mentioning are affecting the economy directly because
Yeah,
if we have a unsafe or insecure society, the mission that you're going to do in Turkey or the mission that you're going to do in Uruguay to attract investors is gonna be very difficult because then you need to convince them. They're gonna ask you the first question, Mickey. Yes, I like your idea. It looks profitable, looks interesting. We are going to establish an alliance, a cultural and technological exchange program between Turkey and Mexico. But can you guarantee that our officials, that our businessmen, that our company is going to be safe? How do you
Yeah,
respond to that?
yeah, that's the issue. I remember probably it was 4 or 5 years ago. I remember when I went to Plaza Iberes, I saw a lot of Japanese people, and now just started to disappear. That people. I remember that there were a lot of Asian people here in Irapuato, and now obviously there's still, but in comparison that 4 or 5 years ago, the quantity of Asian people decreased a lot. And I think that is for the same for the insecurity that we have here in Guanajuato.
Oh, okay. So you notice that.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that that was a reason that all the rents increased too because Japanese people just pay the money that the that the people that rent that house was asking, and the prices of houses here and the rents increase a lot. For example, in certain zones like San Antonio de Ayala, Quinta Villas, and here in Los Arcos too. For example, I don't know if you remember my house, but it's not too big to be honest. But the rent per month here in this private is between 6,000 to 7,000 per month, and the house, to be honest, is is not too big, and at least for me, it's expensive. And I think that, for example, in Leon, it's cheapest that here in Irapuato.
Cheaper than here. Well, it used to be last year, Mickey. Last year or 2 years ago, it used to be much cheaper. But since the last year,
The
probably
prices
because many,
increase.
it has dramatically increased, dramatically, in the last 1 or 2 years. And the reason is that many people that work in the suburbs of Irapuato or Silao or Leon
Hmm.
rather live in Leon now than in Irapuato or in Silao. Even if
Yeah,
the
that's true.
security is as bad, just as bad, for some reason they prefer. And you know what is important about that? I think, Mickey, it's just an opinion,
Hmm.
is that the infrastructure is so much worse here in Irapuato. For example, you know the most important avenue to the best place in Irapuato, which I think is Villas, right?
Yeah,
Have you driven through the way on the way to Villas?
yeah.
It looks like the road to the moon, right? Full of craters.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And how can it be that the most important street to the wealthiest section is a shame?
Hmm.
And it's not because there is no money. There is enough money to make a nice way to the best cluster in Irapuato, right? Which is maybe Villas or San Antonio de Ayala. Well, it's not very different going to San Antonio. Also, that
Yeah,
way
it's the
to
same.
Arandas, it's just the same.
Yeah.
How can that be?
Hmm.
On the contrary, I believe that the cluster where you live, which is a nice, very nice cluster, Los Arcos, I think Paseo Solidaridad is pretty decent. I think it's pretty decent. What do you think?
Yeah, they have invested uh, in that zone. I remember that probably they started like 1 year and a half, and actually they are they are fixing some things. I don't know what they're fixing, but it's supposed they're fixing like coming from La Pradera to cross to Los Arcos. They're
Okay.
they're fixing I don't know what, but they're fixing the streets. It's supposed, but yeah, exactly. And in comparison with Leon, oh my God, now Leon uh, has a good infrastructure. I think so. In comparison with the cities that are around Leon, the infrastructure of Leon is so much better.
Yeah, they are fixing also the Morelos Boulevard. They already built a bridge. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
start building another one. That's a big artery for going to Aguascalientes, for going to Lagos. Even if you live in the north, you can
Mm-hmm.
go to Irapuato much faster going along the Morelos Boulevard. And that is a very important avenue, very important artery of the city. Yeah, I agree with that. But why don't we do the same here? I mean, it's not a big uh, project, a big complexity. You have infrastructure, you have building companies here, right? The one the major owns,
Yeah, starting from that. Yeah,
starting there.
exactly. For example, now the only thing that I have seen is that they are putting like plants between streets, and that's all. I haven't seen like other infrastructure plan. They just putting plants that obviously it seems good, but it's like I think that in our city has a lot of things that we need focus instead of that priorities.
Priorities, yeah. Yeah, well, they're trying to like give a better sight to the gardens and parks. And there is a department there. I don't
Hmm.
know how much budget they have, but I think they are investing a lot of money because one of the relatives of one of the people who's in charge of parks and gardens is running the place. So they're devoting and allocating more money in that area. So I don't remember the names, but one guy that is the husband of the lady that cleans the school from time to time
Hmm.
works for the municipality, and he said to me that yeah, there is a family member of one of the directing leaders or governors or mayors that is in charge of parques y jardines, parks and gardens, and they say, okay, you are in charge of that. Well, here's more money and more money and more money, and of course, if you get 1,000 pesos for something, you devote part of that to the operations, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, so at the end, everything impacts the general economy that we
Hmm.
are talking about here. Well, that was the economy. Okay, Mickey, very good. That is infrastructure. Let me. I got a lost a little bit. Okay, no, that's it. I got my track again. Let's discuss one more topic, please. It is. Let me see. Okay, the supply chain management. You want to be efficient in the obtention, acquisition of resources. That's a no-brainer, right? Uh, but how can you become efficient acquiring the raw materials for the different uh, projects, developments, infrastructure? For example, if you're going to build works, one of the most important industries is the cement industry, right?
Hmm.
You're going to build roads, the cement industry. What other industries are important in the creation and development and establishment of infrastructure, Mickey?
Mm, what else? What else?
The iron industry, maybe iron or steel industry?
Yeah.
Okay, now the question, why are these two industries so incredibly crucial or important? Why are they so determinant in the development of infrastructure in a country?
Mm, because of course I think that they are the basis of the
Yeah,
infrastructure.
correct. What else is important in in these industries?
Mm, could be mm, the glass industry could be one.
The glass, absolutely. Glass industry is very, very important. Other material that is commonly widely used in industries, in various industries, begins with PL.
Mm, what is that?
Plus,
Plastic industry.
plastic industry, yes,
Yeah.
which is a petrol derivative, right? Petrol
Mm-hmm.
or oil derivative. Yeah, many frames. Well, not all of them are made of plastic. There is also another. a component which is important, the
Aluminium.
aluminum, right? Industry, etc. Well, these are the most widely used, I think. Maybe there's another one, but mostly this. And the idea of generating efficient supply chain is crucial, right, in the development of an industry. The
Hmm.
industry in Mexico. How do you provide this? How do you make sure that you always have enough cement, enough iron or steel, glass, plastic, and aluminum?
Well, there must be a administration of all those products, of all those materials.
Okay, administration of all these raw
These
materials. Perfect.
materials.
How do you manage? How do you administer those materials? How do you organize that?
Mm,
You create centers of production, I suppose, right?
yeah,
Production. And where? Where do you put them?
the centers of production.
Yeah. In what cities? In what areas? Should they be accessible or not very much?
Mm, well, yeah, I have seen centers of production. Normally are in the main cities, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they have a specific name for that specific area, which is um, in IND P. Let's see, you know, this like Castro del Rio. Um,
Industrial parks.
exactly, exactly. Industrial parks are important, and they are very, very efficient in terms of, for example, the one in the way to Leon. What is Puerto Interior, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They have an exit to the Metropolitan Highway. Or yeah, I think that's the way it's called, which is really good, right? How do you
yeah,
like that, Mickey?
yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, nice, right? Yeah, okay. Many cities and industrial parks. Um, Many cities, main cities, industrial parks. What else? What else can you say about this administration or management of raw materials? What else is important?
Mm, well, probably it is important to have mm, like the accessibility to move to the other cities that requires those materials.
Exactly, to move from other cities. Perfect. Yes. Accessibility. Obviously, what you said a while ago is important to have well maintained highways. And in
Yes.
this aspect, I believe Guanajuato is doing a very good job. I believe we have excellent highways.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so that is important. Well, that is another topic of international business, the supply chain management. You should have the industries, you should have also the transportation system and efficient transportation system. What includes that, Mickey, just before we finish? What includes an efficient transportation system? That includes what? What do you think is important talking about a good transportation system? Oh, I think we lost him. Oh, Mickey got disconnected. Oops, no worries. Mickey got disconnected. Okay. Well, he got disconnected. Well, it's almost time, so we can continue later. Okay. Don't worry. Okay, I'll wait in 1 minute. Mickey says that the modem is just restarting, and we're about to complete the session today. Very interesting, as you know. It's very nice to chat with smart people because then you can have meaningful, interesting, and smart conversations, smart discussions, right? So let's wait for Mickey a little bit and see how he comes along with this. But talking about the efficient transportation system is truly important, um, because that allows the efficient connection between origin and destination. That you're able to deliver the goods to the site on time, and that is truly important. So let's see if Mickey manages to reconnect. And well, it's truly good. Mm, so here we have efficient transportation system. Oh, there's Mickey. Okay, here's Mickey. You're back, Mickey.
Yes, sure. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I think that just my Wi-Fi got disconnected, but now I'm here. Sorry.
No, don't worry. That happens from time to time. So we
Yeah.
were just talking uh, about why efficient transportation systems are important, and what do you think? Why is it important to have efficient transportation systems when you refer to the supply chain chain management? Why would that be important?
Yeah, obviously, I think that it's important because uh, all cities require those industries, and if our country is not good connected in the transportation system, that will affect to all the infrastructure in general. So I think that it's important to have an efficient transportation to have a correct administration and transport from all those raw materials.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Very true. Okay, Mickey, I think we still remain 3 classes behind, right? We were not able to, I was not able to recover one of them last week.
Yes, teacher. Yeah,
Yeah,
and to be honest, yesterday I forgot the class too, because I see
yeah.
that we had agreed that the class will be on the last Sunday. But yes, teacher. I don't know what days you can have the class.
Maybe we can recover one class this week, maybe Wednesday,
Okay.
or even tomorrow is Tuesday. Maybe Wednesday is easier, Mickey. If we recover one of the classes Wednesday, and
On
then
Wednesday.
the next week maybe another one, and the next week another one. One class per week. We recover.
Yes, teacher. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So see you on Wednesday at what time?
See you on Wednesday. Let's think of 8:45 or 9. Would that be okay?
Yes, teacher. Perfect.
Okay, Mickey. Well, have a wonderful week. Take care
You too,
and say
teacher.
hello to the family. Good talking to you, Mickey.
You too, teacher. Thank you very much for your time and take care.